Okay, I hope you guys can hear me. My name is Wes. I am the neighborhood club coordinator at the White Buffalo Youth Lodge for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Saskatoon. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are and when you're watching this. Today, I'm going to teach you guys how to do some coding lessons on a website called Scratch. It's a really cool website with lots of different games and art projects and animations. And yeah, this is going to be something we're doing for a while. Bear with me. I'm not quite used to doing this sort of thing, recording myself. Usually there's a room full of kids in our computer lab that I'm working with, and it's a little less strange just sitting at home talking to my cats. So um, bear with me. If I'm going a little bit too fast, I'll try to catch myself. I'll try to slow down or backtrack if you guys need me to. But the one benefit of this not being a live recording is that you guys can pause and catch up if you need to. So the first thing you're going to need to do is, if you want to save your creations, which I highly recommend that you do, is make an account in Scratch. Now, the one thing is, if you already have an account or if you make one just right from the Scratch website, you are not going to be able to be a member of this class that I have made. Over here, it's called the Boys and Girls BGCS Club Hub. Now, if you want to post your creations in this class, in the studios I'll be making for each week, you are going to need to join through a link that I'm going to post in the comments of this video somewhere. So if you join through that, it'll take you to a web page where you can make your account, pick your birthday, your username, all that good stuff. I'd recommend you don't use your real name as your username for your account. It's probably best that you use a nickname or something else like that. If you want people to know something was your creation, I will show you a way at the end where you can copy the link and share your video, or excuse me, share your game or animation or creation in the Club Hub Facebook page. So go ahead, make an account, make sure you have parental permission, and you can pause this video. I'll be waiting when you're done. Okay. So once you've got your account, there's up here at the top, you can see there's create, explore ideas about. We're going to click create, and we're going to start our creation, our project. So what we're going to be doing today is it's an Etch-a-Sketch made with the pen tool in Scratch. The main things that it'll be teaching you are how to, one, make scripts to control your sprites or your characters, and to move them around. It'll also teach you guys to use the pen tool. It should be pretty simple. There might be some stuff at the beginning that's a little bit boring for some kids who are a little bit older, or if you're really computer savvy, it might not be that challenging at first. Same with if you're a little bit younger, maybe you don't use computers very often, or tablets, or whatever you may be using. It might be a little hard as we go on. So no matter what, you should be able to walk away with something at the end that's finished. If it is too hard for you, just post it in the comments. I'll try to make them start a little bit easier next time so that everybody can make something, and then they'll progressively get harder throughout the video. And yeah, that way you can build your skills. And if you are a little bit more advanced, some of the other kids, then you'll have something that'll challenge you. Don't worry about that. Okay, so the first things first, we're going to need to choose a sprite. Now, if you see over here in the corner of the screen, this is where all your sprites are going to go. It defaults always to this cat named Scratch. I'm not going to use him today because we are making an Etch-a-Sketch. I don't know if you guys know what an Etch-a-Sketch is. Maybe you're a little bit too young, but I always liked them when I was a kid. So if you see here, in the corner of your screen, there is a picture of a cat's head with a plus sign. Right here, you're just going to click on it. You can go choose a sprite. There's tons and tons you can look through. If you want to pause this video while you can explore, go ahead. What I'm going to use today is the pencil that I just grabbed. Feel free to use whatever you want. There's lots of really cool ones. Dragons, dogs, donuts, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, but I'm going to use this pencil. It's a little too big. So if you see here where it says size, I'm just going to make that a little bit smaller, maybe 25. Yeah, that'll be okay. Next things up here is the background. So if you notice, this is a pretty boring white background, which is okay for this project because we are going to be drawing all over the screen, and we don't really want something that distracts too much from what we're doing. If you see the Etch-a-Sketch I already made, I kind of drew around in the background, kind of made it look like an Etch-a-Sketch. I'll show you guys how to do that at the end. For now, though, if you click that, the blue hills, the plus sign, you can go pick your own. I'm going to go with this nice blue sky. Nice and boring, won't distract from what we're doing. Again, you guys pause the video, go look through. I know you really want to make this your own, so take your time, look through, find a backdrop that you want. Once you do have the background you want, we're going to look over here. There's all of these circles, all these dots, these colors with the words underneath. These are your blocks that you're going to be building your scripts with. Now, when you build a script or an algorithm, it controls what is happening, the program that you're making. So if you want, in Mario, when Mario runs, when you push the direction, that's all because there is an algorithm controlling him, telling him what to do when you press what buttons, okay? So first, we're gonna need to add the pen tool. So if you go down in the corner over here, there's this blue square with the plus sign right here. We're gonna click on that, and right at the top, there's the pen tool. Click on that, and now if you notice right here down the end of all your circles, there is one called pen. You're gonna grab that, okay? Actually, we're not gonna use it quite yet. First, what we're gonna do is go up here and click events. It's the yellow circle, the word events right on top of the orange, right underneath the purple, click that. And we're gonna grab this very first block here. It says when green flag clicked. Click on it, drag it over into your workspace. That's this big white square right here. One thing, before we get too far, actually, I should make sure you guys know, is if you see on my screen right here, I'm clicked on this pencil. Now, the sprite you're going to control is going to be highlighted in blue. So that's the one that you're currently adding blocks to. So if you're clicked on your background in your stages, it's going to be highlighted blue over here. And then you're going to be putting your blocks in the wrong spot, and your code's not going to work there. So you got to make sure you're clicked on your pencil or your cat or your dog or whatever it is that you want moving around here. So once you make sure that's the case, grab this when green flag clicked. These are kind of like Legos, the way they work. They just snap together. One thing to be aware of is all these ones in events with the round top, they are the beginning of a script. You need one of them. Nothing can go on top because they're the very first one. So once you've got that, we are going to jump over to the pen tool down here at the very bottom. Click on it, and we're going to grab 3 of these blocks. Okay, you're going to click erase all, drag it over, and connect it. When you're connecting a block, you should see either a shadow right there where it's going to snap in. Sometimes, depending on what you're doing, the little bump there will highlight as well. So you're just going to snap them together and connect them like that. So the next thing we're going to need is set the pen color. So your first block you need is the top one. It says erase all. Grab it over, connect it. The second block you need is set pen color 2. And then there's just a circle with a color in it. Mine is blue. Yours might look like something else. And then we're going to need pen down. So grab the, it's the third one. It says pen down right there. And snap those all together. Now the way this works is if you have the pen, you can lift it up, kind of like a real pen in real life. If you're holding it up in the air, it's not going to write on anything, right? So we're going to put it down and set your color. If you want to click on that circle, you can pick what your color is to start. Etch a Sketches are black, so I'm going to go with black to start. All right, so now our pen works, but it doesn't really do anything, right? So here's what we're doing next. Go back to events, the yellow circle right there, click on that. And right here where it says when space key pressed, you're going to grab that, grab 4 of them, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, grab all 4, leave them there just for now. We're going to come back to those in a little bit. Next thing we're going to do is right here, see where it says when this sprite clicked, click on that, drag it over and put it right up here next to the top. Okay, so now you've got all this stuff going on. So we'll worry about the Etch a Sketch part later. For right now, let's make this pen move around, okay? So I'll give you one guess which one of these makes things move around. Yeah, it's right there at the top. First blue circle labeled motion, okay? Now, if you see the 4th block down, it says go to random position. You're going to click that, drag it over, and put it right underneath when this sprite clicked. When this sprite clicked, go to random position. That means, so the sprite is my pencil or whatever you're using. If you click on it, it's going to go somewhere random. But I don't really want that right now. So if you see right here, there's an arrow. Click on that arrow, and it's going to give you this list right here. Instead of having random position, the bottom one, it says mouse pointer. That's what we want. So click on mouse pointer. So now if we go over here and we click on this, oh yeah, see it goes to the mouse pointer, but as soon as it touches the mouse pointer, it stops moving. I don't want that. So we're going to go over here, orange circle, where it says control. I'm going to click on that one. Now, there's a whole bunch of lists, or a whole bunch of blocks here that list controls. I want this to follow my mouse pointer around forever, so I'm going to grab the block that says forever. It kind of looks like an alligator's mouth. Make sure you don't grab repeat 10, because it's just going to repeat 10 times and then stop. I want it to go forever. So click forever, drag it over. Now, if you see, it's got a bump up here and then 2 more down here. So what we need to do is put it right underneath this when sprite clicked. So we are going to, when the sprite clicked forever, make sure your blue block is in forever. If it's on top, if it's up here, it's not going to work because it's going to, the order these blocks are is the order that everything happens in. So if you click the sprite, it follows it and then it does nothing forever because there's nothing in there. So click it, make sure it's in between, and now you see it's following me around. So if I click the green flag, then I click this, look at that. Now we're drawing. That's kind of boring though, isn't it? Just one color. So why don't we go over here? Oh, it's still following me. Let's go down to pen tool, okay? So if you see right under where it says set pen color 2, and then there's just a color, it says change pen color by 10. Now, it might say something different because if you click here, there's some other cool stuff you can play around with after. Make sure it says color. So change pen color by 10. Let's put that inside of forever. You can go either on top of or underneath of mouse pointer, but make sure it's inside of forever underneath when the sprite clicked. Now, if you click on your sprite, oops, it should change pen color by, oh, there we go. So if you have changed your pen color to black like I did, what it's doing is changing the pen color, but because the brightness and saturation is so low, the color doesn't look like anything. No matter what you change it to, it's all black. So I'm going to raise my saturation and my brightness. That's a little too saturated. There we go. Now click on it. Oops. There. Click the green flag. Click the sprite. There you go. Now you got a nice rainbow you can color with. Okay, so let's hit stop for the moment. So there you go. So now you can color. You can color around. If you want to pause and do some coloring, go right ahead. Next things up is, so if I color this whole mess, I don't really like that. I'm not gonna lie, that is not my best work. I think I'm capable of more. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go over here, back to events, right over here, the yellow circle, click on that. And then we are going to grab when space key pressed, another one, okay? Put it right up here at the top, not connected to anything. So if you see, there is this rectangle right here, space inside of it, and there's a triangle. Click on the triangle, and it gives you a whole list of keys. Don't pick space, don't pick up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, right arrow. I have some plans for those. So right now you can either just go grab a letter, any letter you want. I'm going to click on E for erase, okay? And then we're going to go over here to the pen tool once you've done that. Click on it, and we're going to grab erase all. So hit your green arrow, click on your pen, drag it around, and it's following you. But yeah, I messed that up. That doesn't really look like me. That's not quite what my nose looks like. So I'm going to hit E to erase, but then my pen still follows me around, and I might want to have it not follow me around for a little bit. So what you're going to do is go over here, go back up to control, the orange circle right here, click on that. Scroll down a little ways. If it's not in your list there, it's where the block we're looking for is stop all, or stop this script, other scripts in this sprite, but we're going to need stop all. So make sure it says all. Click on it, drag it over, and put it right underneath erase all. So now if we hit the E key, it erases everything and it stops this sprite over here, or this script here that makes things go forever. It's stopping it. So not forever. That'll turn off everything in here. So if you have anything else going, like if you've put another script just to get the color of the pen to change, it's going to stop that as well. You can make it start again by clicking on your pen and starting it again. So now that we've done that, let's do one more thing before we start actually making our Etch-a-Sketch. That last thing we're going to do, okay, we're going to go over here, click on events, and grab one last when space key pressed. Click it, drag it, put it right next to your 4 on the top here. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to go motion. So remember before when we grabbed that random position block right here at the top, we're going to do that again. Go to random position, click it, and put it right there. Then, so if I hit the space key, the mouse goes somewhere random. Every time I click, it goes somewhere else and it leaves a trail behind it. But my finger is getting sore. I don't want to hit that every single time. So we're going to go back to control, the orange circle. Right here, we're going to grab a forever block and put it right underneath space key pressed with random position in the middle. So now if I hit space bar, the sprite, my pencil, is going to bounce around the screen, going all crazy, all on its own. That still looks a little too boring though, just a big red mess. So we're gonna go to pen tool again. We're gonna grab another change color or change pen color by 10 and put it in there. So now when it bounces around, it's all rainbow. All right, so there you go. Now you've got a rainbow pen tool. So there you go. And if you want it to stop, hit the E key, it erases everything and it stops. Okay, so now this is where things are gonna get a little bit trickier. Not too bad, hopefully. So we're finally gonna use these for when space key pressed. So let's go up here. This top one, if it's gonna help you, I think, a little bit if you kind of put them the way I've put them here, where there's one on top, one on the bottom, and then two in the middle side by side. Top one, let's go change from space bar to up arrow. The bottom one, let's change from space bar to down arrow. This one on the right here will change to right arrow. And then the one on the left will change to left arrow. Once you've done that, go back to motion, and we're going to grab right here at the bottom where it says change X by and change Y by. We're going to grab two of those each. So change X by, this you see over here, this is going to be the easiest way to remind you if you don't know what that means. This is the X axis, which moves left to right. This is the Y axis, which moves up to down. So right here, X is left to right, Y is up and down. So grab a Y, change Y by 10 right here at the bottom, grab one of those and put it under up arrow, grab one of those and put it under down arrow. Then change X by 10, you're gonna grab one and put it on your left arrow, and grab one and put it on your right arrow. So now, if you hit up, your pen should move up. If you hit up, if you hit right, it moves right. But if you hit left and down, it still moves right and up. So what we need to do is moving 10 steps forwards, either up or down. So we want it to move 10 steps backwards for it to go down and for it to go left. So click here in this bubble, and then you'll highlight it. You're going to change this to negative or minus 10. Do the same thing with your left arrow. Click on it, change it to minus 10. Now, when you hit down, it moves down. If you hit left, it moves left. There you go. You can draw and create just like that. So, and then if you want to erase, go ahead and erase. These are all the scripts we're going to make today. You guys can feel free to kind of plug and play around with them as you feel free. One thing, if you want to, I'm going to show you in another video, because I've only got a certain amount of time before my recording stops. In another video, I'll show you guys how to make the pen. You're drawing the line, make that get bigger or smaller. I'll teach you how to change the color so it doesn't just do a random rainbow, that sort of stuff. But for now, you guys are finished. You can explore. The last thing I'm going to show you is if you click over here where it says costumes, you see you've got different versions of your sprite here, and you can add a new one, or you can click and draw on this like with a paintbrush or whatever. But if you go over here to backdrops and you click on your backdrop, the one benefit to having a nice plain background is you can decorate it however you'd like. If you click this little strike through arrow there, it means it won't have anything on the inside, it won't have anything, or it won't have anything on the outside. So if I went like this, make a square that's going to highlight the edges. If it's too small for you, you can click there, make it bigger, change the number, make it bigger, click up or down. There you go. And and you can decorate your own backgrounds however you feel, however you'd like. I believe you can also, if you make a background or a sprite, since you can make your own, if you make one you really, really like, if you right click on it, you can export it, and that'll save it to your computer so that you can import it later if you make a different game or a different project and you really, really like that one background you made or that one sprite you made. That's a way to save them. But yeah, you can go around and explore. The last thing we're going to do up here is right at the top where it says, well, mine says Untitled 18. If you have a brand new account, it should just say Untitled. We're going to give this a name. So I will call this Pen Tool Lesson. You hit Save Now. Make sure you save it. If you don't, you'll have nothing to come back to. If you click Share right here, it's going to share the project you've made. So if someone searches for it, they'll be able to find it. The last thing we're going to do, you can type here instructions to tell people how to use your project or your game. So you can tell them, hey, E is erase, up and down, move around, that sort of stuff. And then down here where it says Add to Studio, you can, if you click on that, if you are in my my class, you will be given the option to add it to one of my studios. So you can either do the Etch-a-Sketch or Club Hub. Etch-a-Sketch should be the one you're looking for. Oops, where did I go? So click right there, add it to Etch-a-Sketch, click OK. I think you can add it to multiple if you want to add it to both. Click OK, and then, yeah, your project will show up right there. You can go in if you go to the home page here. Since I have a teacher account, you'll be able to go into your class and see studios. So each lesson is going to have its own studio. If you go in through there, you can see everything everyone else has made and play around with them. One really cool thing with Scratch is down here. Oops. I can't do it because I made this one, but it'll give you the option to remix a project. So first, you can see inside of something anybody else has made to see all the different scripts and blocks they use to make their project happen. And then you'll also be given the option to remix it, so you can make your own little version. So you could change a sprite. Let's say if you're playing Mario and you want Mario to be a dog instead, you can just change the costume to a dog. You can also, it's not something I advise because I don't agree with it, but you can also add cheats. Like if you're playing playing a game, you could change, hit when E key pressed, give me all the points, and then you automatically win. But that's something for another day. Yeah, so when you guys are done, add it to the studio. If you want to share it in the Facebook page, you can go ahead here. If you hit copy link, you can copy this and post it in the comments. Other people click it and find your video. You can also embed it. I don't know if you're able to embed Scratch games on Facebook, but if you do it that way, the game will just pop up right on Facebook. You won't have to go to Scratch at all. Yeah, so when you guys are done, you can go ahead and explore. We're done for today, but if you want to go check out other creations from other people, two I'd recommend are Paper Minecraft or Fruit Clicker, but there are tons of games and art projects that other people have made in Scratch, some even kids like you. You can check them out, play around, have some fun. Maybe next time I'll ask you guys to share some of your favorite games, and hopefully we can remake them one day soon, our own versions. I'm not going to promise Paper Minecraft because that one is a little bit way too hard even for me. But hopefully we'll be able to remake some of our own, our favorite games. And maybe one day we'll be able to do this live. I'm hoping in a couple of weeks something we'll be able to figure But until then, thanks. I hope you guys were able to make your games and have some fun. And I will see you next